The face of a man whose body has lain on display in the British Museum for 100 years has finally been uncovered. Jebelain Man, to give him his scientific name, has been dead for more than 5,000 years, and it's only now that researchers have been able to find the cause of death. A new body scanning technique has unearthed clues from the mummified remains. Carl Dinnan has been sifting the evidence.
This is an old story. Although the mystery has only now been unravelled, Jebelain Man lies curled up in the British Museum. He became affectionately known as Ginger, but he died and was buried in Jebelain in southern Egypt 5,500 years ago.
It's probably one of the best mummies in terms of preservation I've ever studied. He was simply buried in a pit covered with sand, and the heat just removed all the moistures and prevented the body from decaying.
But how he died was a mystery until researchers were offered the opportunity of a digital autopsy. They found that Jebelain Man had been stabbed in the back.
So that's what we think is a stab wound?
Yes. And the size and the cleanness of it is an indication that this looks like a knife.
And then underneath,
immediately
the
underneath, the bone is broken. You can see that the parts have been pushed inwards.
So he would have had internal injuries as well?
A little bit more than injuries. Basically, that would have actually gone into his lung and punctured his lung, and potentially also cut one of his arteries. And that would, of course, 5,000 years ago, been fatal.
Researchers found no defence wounds, suggesting that Jebelain Man may have been attacked by surprise.
It's slightly sad, isn't it, even though it's very old?
Yes, not only that, but he was a young man, and nonetheless, it's interesting to see such evidence of violence. On several aspects, there's a lot of art from that period that depicts a lot of violence. So again, it's interesting to see that it might have been quite a violent period of history just prior to the unification of Egypt.
But who killed Jebelain Man and why is lost in the sand, too far gone for even the sleuths of the British Museum to discover.